Okay, so before you begin, always take a look at the title, Anya Track Star. What do you think this passage is going to be about? Let me give you a hint. Anytime you're reading a story, a weakness is always going to be exposed in a person. So as soon as you see you're reading a story, know that the person is going to have some type of weakness. So as you read, I want you to say, what type of weakness does Anya have? And understand by the end, there's usually a transformation. So how has this person transformed? A strategy I want you to use is preview the text. Once you take a look at the title, always take a look at the title before you begin and start thinking, what is this going to be about? Remember, you're taking a state test. It's about thinking. It's not about reading. If you think you're going to be able to read this passage and pass the test, you are not. You have to begin to think immediately. So, to help the brain and to give the brain some cheats, you preview the text. Don't just start reading, preview the text. How do you do that? Read all of the first paragraph, then stop to read the first sentence of each additional paragraph. When you are taking a state test, this is something you want to do. Okay? You want to put the brain in the mindset of winning. Okay. And when you get to the last paragraph, read all of the last paragraph. Let's review that. Read all of the first paragraph before you start. Read the first sentence of each additional paragraph, just the first, and read all of the last paragraph. This is giving you a preview. You aren't reading for entertainment. You are reading. So by the time you make it to the questions, you have studied the passage and you understand what's going on. Secondly, I would like for you to study the passage. As you are reading, immediately think about the author. What is the author showing you? How does the author feel? How do the plot elements like setting, character traits, dialogue, how does any of that help the story or hurt the story? What is the character experiencing? And anytime a passage focuses on certain elements in the story, ask yourself, I like to call it the camera. Why is the camera, meaning why has the author focused on this or provided this information? Everything you read, ask yourself, why has the author shared this information with us? Okay, so I want you to take the time now and I want you to preview the text. Once you preview the text, you stop to say, okay, here's what this passage is mainly about. Here's what I've learned about this topic or this character. You're thinking. You have notes on a note sheet. Ask for a blank sheet of paper when you're taking this state test. You have to study this passage. If you study this passage before you answer the questions, you're going to answer more questions correctly. If you try to read the passage once and answer the questions, you are going to fail the test. You are not going to do as well as you could have. And even for those of you who may pass the test, you will receive a higher grade on the test if you study. Okay? So take a moment to preview this text. Now that you have previewed the text, it's time to read and study. Let's come back to this paragraph. When you read the paragraph, I want you to see what is being revealed. What does the author reveal? She imagined she could break long school records and become the latest, greatest athletic hero. What kind of person dreams of breaking school records and becoming a great athletic hero? Who is Anya? And what do we learn about her here? It seems to me as she is a girl who is determined and focused, and she loves winning, and she will win by any means necessary. Once you've read this paragraph, take a moment to read this paragraph. Ask yourself, what is the author revealing? What do we learn about Anya in this paragraph? It says she thought over practicing might lead to fatigue and burnout. She avoided practicing. What type of athlete avoids practicing? Who does that? It says she ran lazily. She didn't give her all. What do we learn about her? What does this show? So, as you see, you aren't just reading, you're saying, what is the author revealing about Anya? And why do you think this might be important to the lesson? Because there's always a lesson for the reader. See how it says coach made the team practice a lot. So if the coach made the team practice a lot, but Anya is running lazily around the track, that's the opposite of what the coach is doing. There's going to be a test question about that. Paragraph 3. What is the author revealing? What are we learning? Okay, it says she was struck with a sinking feeling. Oh no, that's not good. So we see she wasn't prepared. She'd forgotten her uniform. As a result, she had no other option but to wear what she had on, her tie-dyed Little Campers Day Camp t-shirt. She had no other choice. So she did not choose this shirt. If there is a test question about this shirt, she did not choose this shirt. She just so happened to have it. Okay. She Coach frowned, so he wasn't pleased with her, but she ducked past him because he frowned. Why did he frown? She didn't have a uniform on. He was like, oh, girl. She went on over to the track. She was like, he's not going to ruin my spirit. You know, here she forgot her uniform. Of course, coach can be disappointed in that. Let's go on. At the track, she stretched briefly. So what athletes stretch briefly? Wouldn't, she should have actually taken the time to do all of her stretches. So she's not a very serious athlete, but in her mind, she wants to be this track star, but she's doing all the opposite actions of a track star. That's when she had a second sinking feeling of the day. Oh gosh, what has she forgotten now? It took about half a second before she found herself looking at the back of every runner head. If she's looking at the backs, she's behind, she's last. Everybody else took off first. That's what it says here. Gasping for breath. Why is she gasping for breath? Because she's out of shape. She's unfit. She wants to be this track star, but she doesn't practice. She realized too late all those practices coach had planned was to help prepare the team. Well, she began to panic as the runners moved farther and farther ahead of her. So she's falling behind, falling behind. Here we see what's the paragraph? She's farther behind. They're having the track meet. What's the purpose of paragraph 5? The final blow struck just as Anya rounded the home stretch. What was the final blow? So here she forgot a uniform. She forgot, it says here, what was the second sinking feeling of the day? It says it took about half a second before she found herself looking at the backs of every runner's head. So the first sinking feeling, she forgot her uniform. Second sinking feeling, she's in last place. And finally, the final blow. So something else bad happens. Somehow a large bee had taken an unnatural interest in her ponytail. So now she's being chased by a bee. She's shaking her head. She's trying to swat the bee away as she's running. No success. So she did what any person would do, and she ran faster. So why does the author insert a bee to help her run faster? To show that she can run faster, to show she wasn't giving her all. It says she ran so fast, incredibly fast, that she found herself catching up to the group. So perhaps she wasn't running fast because she wasn't giving her all. From somewhere in the distance, there was a sound of a roaring crowd cheering her on. All she heard was the bee. So here this girl took off like lightning. So it says, Anya Track Star. Is she really a track star? Because she was able to zoom ahead of everyone, even though she was in last place. What is the author trying to show us? So we see here, we've already read paragraph 6, it shows us that she won. Her dreams of becoming a track star had come true, but not because of her. It was because of this bee. At that moment, she was still racing at full speed back to the safety of the school gym. Okay, so let's look at the questions. What answer? How did you answer question 1? And why? Which answer did you choose and why? What answer did you choose for question 2 and why? What answer did you choose for question 3 and why? What answer did you choose for question 4 and why? What answer did you choose for question 5 and why?